everyone, it's KoBaC. It's been a couple of months since I made a video, so I wanted to get one here today recorded. I'm going to start over. Hey everyone, KoBaC here. Got another Lorcana video today. We're back at, well actually, no, we shouldn't be at Mickey. We should be at Maleficent. So yes, I did manage, it's been a while since I made a video. I did manage to win not only one, but 2 set champs this season, which is the first time I've ever done that. So I thought we would do a pack opening for Fabled just before Whispers in the Well gets here. I have 24 blisters. I have never done this many blisters before, so it's kind of in place of doing a box. But with blisters, if you don't know, they're random packs. So unlike when you get a box and you have chance of getting like 3 to 5 legendaries, them being in the blisters, we don't have any idea. So it could be more legendaries, it could be none. We're gonna try it out. Now I've done a different setup for this video because one of the things I think sometimes is missing from the videos that I've recorded of pack openings is you can't hear any of the actual pack opening. I have settings set up so it does really good for my microphone, but then you can't hear anything. So this time I've made some adjustments. So let me know which you prefer, just to test and kind of just see. So I haven't made a video in, what, like 4 months? Something like that? You can see the meters for the audio moving, so I know I can hear it this time. But yeah, I haven't made a video in a while, and in part that was because Reign of Jafar, life was just kind of just busy, but I was just trying some different stuff, and then I was hoping that when the end of the Reign of Jafar season happened, that it would have been, that I would have won. So I ended up going to 7 different set champs, the most I've ever done. I ended up placing in top 8, 6 out of the 7 times. Got Aurora here and, ooh, foil power line. Neat. We'll just make a stack of these and I'll sort these out later. So I got, yeah, so I was saying I got 6 top 8s out of the 7 I went to. 3 times, 3 separate times, I was contesting for first place. So I made it all the way up into the finals, where I ended up, because of the way that the scores work, I got second 2 times, third, I don't remember how many, but one of those times I was fighting for the playmat. And I was pretty disappointed because I had been practicing extremely hard last season to try to make it and then didn't. And that was a bummer, right? So this season, I went to only 3 set champs and managed to top 2 of them. Woo! And, oh, foil legendary Mickey. Oh, yeah. Well, that's fun. First legendary foil on top of being a foil, and it's a legendary. So I guess just to ask, how did you guys do this season? Did you guys end up getting anything good? Did any of you manage to snag a playmat yourself? I was super excited. Both of the times that actually all 3 of the set champs this season, I took Amethyst Steel. I had started this season out with Blurple. I had actually gone up to Charlie's or CCS in Georgia to try my hand at winning. Ooh, foil rare. Okay, Moana. And I did not do well. I had practiced a lot. Me and my team, I'm part of a 4-person team at this point, and I practiced so much for that. And didn't get, didn't do good, actually. It was very disappointing. I had the Dumbos I needed. I had the full list that I had been practicing with. Like, I was ready to go, and it just didn't work out the way that I thought it would. I didn't necessarily think that I was going to, okay, we just pulled Pluto in the last pack, right? And an, okay, Pluto and Under the Sea. Please don't be Moana. Foil Pluto, okay. That, all right. Hopefully that doesn't keep happening, that we get kind of duplicates, unless they're going to do duplicate legendaries. foil legendaries on top of it if they could. So come on, focus. There we go. Didn't do very good at Charlie's. I went 4 and 5. But I played all the way through because I wanted to see how I could do. I didn't want to drop after like there was no chance of me making it, further into the event. I wanted to keep going. And that's had the shift Pluto, now the little Pluto. Outside of that, this season has been back and forth for me. I have gone from doing really bad to really, really well at the end of the season, and then kind of like a in-between throughout the middle of the season. I am not disappointed that this season is shorter than previous seasons. I have not super enjoyed this season. I feel like most of the meta kind of broke down to top decking or who could just... Lorcana's always been whoever can kind of consistently keep card draw moving is the one who... Ooh, an epic. Epic Robin Hood. Nice. The game has always been, kind of who can keep cards being drawn, right? Whoever can draw the cards probably has the best chance of being able to keep the game moving. And probably win. But I feel like this season has been even more of that. And it has been very frustrating to go from previous seasons where there was a little bit more control over your deck, right? If you were Amber or Amber Steel, you had Doc and Rapunzel's to kind of help you out. Or Whole New Worlds even, and Ariel's to look around for the songs that you needed. You had Let the Storm Rage on to draw. If you were Amethyst Steel, you had Rabbits. You had all kinds of other stuff. And then for the other sets or other colors, depending on what else you're playing off of, you had the Ruby Amethyst control. Sapphire had ways to draw cards. It just, and even Emerald with Diablos, it just felt like there was a lot more card draw. And a lot of this season ended up being very similar to kind of how I was partially expecting it to be, where I was thinking that the season would very much devolve to top deck and who can consistently draw, which is really going to be an Amethyst thing. And I think that that's really where we've ended, where we had Amethyst Steel and Sapphire Amethyst as being the strongest of the... Ooh, Ursula. The strongest of the colors or the deck combinations, because you could keep drawing cards, right? Dumbo was amazing. So how did the stuff end up being for you guys? Like, did you see similar kind of situations? I'm curious also what deck you kind of had stuck with, or did you change? I had bounced between Blurple, Amethyst Steel. I tried Sapphire Emerald towards the end of the season, and I couldn't really make that one work. That was a bit... Ooh. Another Mickey! Well, heck yeah! And a foil Lawrence. That's also nice. Take those all day. What else did I try? I tried Amber Emerald. I couldn't get that to work. I know some people did, and that's cool. I'm glad you did, because I tried, and it wasn't... It's just not my play style. I've come to find that I was even playing Amethyst Steel a lot like how I was playing Ruby Amethyst Control in the last couple of sets, where I'm going to keep drawing cards, I'm going to interrupt you where I can, and then I'm going to grab control of the match as soon as I can. Ooh, too far. And then just kind of stay on top from that point forward. And if I could do that, I probably will just take the entire match. And that was how I was playing the Amethyst Steel. Which, if you guys are curious about that deck, I'm more than happy to do a breakdown. I know we're at the end of the season, but my deck, I ended up sharing it with my teammates, and 2 of them went and played the deck at their own set champs, at different set champs than me, and they both ended up taking playmats. So the deck itself basically took 4 first place. They had made some slight adjustments to them. Excuse. They made some slight adjustments. One he didn't have 4 Dumbos, so he did 2 Dolores because he needed something else to draw because he's already doing genies and stuff. And then the other took out one of the white roses, put in a Mim skater, and then actually put in two, but one was just the 61st card. So they were, you know, 99, 98% the deck that I had already built. They took that, so ended up being able to get some extra wins, which is cool, because after last set of me practicing and practicing and practicing and just getting beat up, kind of start getting in your own head about things, and you know. Ooh, another epic, another Robin Hood. Okay, interesting. I'm pulling duplicates of those. It'd be really cool to get another Aurora or a B-King Undisputed. That would be neat. And, or an iconic Mickey, you know? We would take those. We would take one of those. Did anybody end up pulling an iconic? I haven't heard of anyone I know pulling one since like the initial release, where I had actually pulled Mini from one of our cases. I do not have it now. We ended up selling it to help fund some other things. Ooh, Benja. That card's probably going to end up seeing getting play again in the next set. And that's one of the other things we could do, is we could do some prediction stuff for next sets. We could, which I want to do. I want to get back on doing YouTube, especially because we have Whispers, so we're going to do some other pack openings through that, because there's a whole new set for us to jump onto, and there's a lot of brewing to do. And I have my own kind of predictions, and I'm going to kind of get into those in a future video. But I mean, just the kind of the gist of it, and maybe this will help kind of catalog my thoughts, and maybe I'll be right, maybe I won't be. Ooh, a Lilo. And another legendary. Ooh, Hades. And Cinderella. So 3 legendaries. We're about 2/3 of the way through the packs. So there was 24 to start with, and we're down to 9 or 10 with this one. 3 legendaries so far, so one of those being foil. But I'm kind of thinking that this next set, I'm very excited for Whispers overall. Very excited for Whispers. We got a lot of power lines. Not upset about that. It's good to be able to pull something that's not a millionth reprint. But I'm thinking that this next set is going to just accelerate the color wars for like purple steel, blurple, green blue, amber steel. I think those are not going anywhere. Yellow green, I think, is going to get beat up, especially early in the season, due to Spooky Sight. Foil the food. And we will see how that plays out for them, if that ends up, if yellow green can kind of survive it. I'm personally leaning towards right now that yellow green is going to be done for now. That they don't have a way forward. They don't have consistent enough card draw. And that they are going to, Spooky Sight is going to wreck them, right? Because what do they do right now? They set themselves up by going wide with low ink, playing very cheap characters. They play the big tramp, look for Under the Sea, and then hit you with that. Whether they do Scrump, whether they just hit you over the head with Under the Sea when you don't want them to. Ooh, Strength. And an Epic Alice. 3 epics so far. But we'll see. Beyond that, green steel looks like it's got some pieces. Blue steel's got some pieces. I'm not as confident Ruby Sapphire is going to go anywhere, which makes me disappointed. I did some early testing, and I'm not impressed by it. It can ramp really fast. It can ramp. It can ramp. But it just doesn't... It doesn't have the card draw side of things. So it gets to the really big top end, and then it just stalls because it can't go anywhere else with it. And rare, another Ursula the Queen. Down to our final 7 packs. So I'm excited for Whispers. Fabled. I didn't super enjoy the meta. I think we got enough good stuff. Whoa, that pack just disintegrated. With Dumbo was obviously a huge instrumental piece for this set. You had other stuff going on, but I mean, Dumbo was massive. Is Dumbo going to be as big of a threat in the next set we will have to wait and see. I think it's going to kind of diminish. Ooh, foil genie. I wonder if that genie is going to end up seeing any play. I know there was a lot of speculation at the beginning of Fabled that he would, but he didn't really go very far, so we'll kind of see. Beyond that, Hades being reprinted is huge this set. Very, very huge. We'll kind of see. I think things are going to pivot a little bit. Just like any season, when it comes to like Whispers, the first part of the season is going to be people doing a lot of experimenting. So like with this set, Blurple was everywhere, but like blue-green didn't really exist. It was just kind of, oh, Dumbo, heck yeah. That is a good pull. I think my prediction right now, Dumbo won't be as crazy good as he was, but he will still be played. He will still be valuable. Will he stay? Obviously, he's come down in value as of the recording of this. Will he stay up there as being, you know, as played? I don't know, but I think he's still going to be a good card. I'm still going to be playing Dumbos in my Amethyst Steel, and although I kind of take some different thought patterns with some of my stuff than from some others, so I'll have to another. Oh, an Enchanted! Holy crap, and it's Bell? Where are my sleeves? I didn't even recognize. I thought it was an epic. My brain saw this and I was like, that's epic. That's it. Where are my sleeves? I picked them up. Oh my gosh, a Dumbo and a Bell. This will be going, pretty sure I'm going to play this. Oh my goodness. Accomplished Mystic Bell. Dang. Well, that's cool. My brain totally. I opened it and I was like, oh, it's an epic. Which one is it? I didn't even register the icon. Oh, that's sick. That's sick. That is the first time I've pulled ever, I think, a actual playable Enchanted. We've pulled, I don't know how many Enchanted, not like a billion of them or anything, but we've pulled a bunch of Enchanted, not a bunch, I take it back, a number of them, but they've usually been the cheaper ones. So then like when I get them at the beginning of the set, because I share my collection with my wife, like we have the same, and then I build decks for 2 of my kids, so like, you know, basically building a collection for 4 people effectively to build decks with, and we'll pull Enchanteds or something, and then I usually just flip or sell them as quick as I can at the beginning of the set. Oh, legendary, because we want to be able to get as much value from them as possible, because they diminish so quickly, because most of the, I'll say most Enchanteds are not playable. They can have amazing art, but they're not great, right? So then that diminishes the value because it's not a played card, because if there's something that is played, like Dumbo, Bell, the Hades, trying to think of some others, Finders Keepers even, is one that can see play. It might not have the most value, but it can see play, and those will keep the values up for the collectors and then people who do play with them. I got to think about if I'm actually going to play that Bell, though. I think I might. I think I might keep it. Because I've been saying, if I could finally get one, man, I'd be playing it all the time. And it hasn't happened before. Foil Lantern. Wow. And if this was a box, 5 legendaries, 1 being foil, and an Enchanted Bell, like this is a great box. Dumbo also, like you definitely wouldn't be able to complain about it. I mean, I guess if you're not an Amethyst player, you'd be like, oh, it's good, but a couple of Auroras too. Although I don't think she's going to see as much play going forward with, hey, there she is. And Flucties. All right, last one. I don't know if, what was the card I was talking about? I blanked. confused myself. I'm still stuck on the Enchanted. Last pack. It's already been a really good set to pull from in this, you know, these 24 packs, so we don't get fire. It's okay. All right, the rares. Rafiki and Genie and Cursed Merfolk. Not as good right now to pull because obviously with the promo versions from Fabled that you'd probably already have a playset or near a playset anyway of the foiling. But this this turned out to be a really great box. Really, well, not a box, but you know, blisters. But fun to come back to start a video with for everybody, with everyone. And yeah, so gonna have to start getting her into some decks and start doing some stuff. So stuff going forward, I'd like to be able to do some more video content here. I have some ideas for some stuff I want to move forward with, but I'll kind of feel it out and kind of see what makes sense. And as we get to keep moving forward and start talking about Whispers, going to be doing openings for Whispers and a bunch of other cool things. So thank you guys very much for watching, and talk to you guys in the next video.